Yo, 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 how you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Cory Means Business podcast and YouTube show. Thanks for joining me for another one. Today, we're going to go over some other things besides just the coronavirus. We're going to talk about the coronavirus a little bit, but I'm going to get into some other more businessy stuff. The big update this week on the coronavirus, obviously, is that a lot of states are opening up. Matter of fact, I think as of today, all 50 states are either open or some partial openings. Some are still being sticklers. I know New York City, for instance, is still closed down because that's obviously the epicenter for the United States of this issue. I don't think New York City will open probably for a few more months. But states, all 50 states are partially open, fully opened. So that's a good thing. California is still obviously playing hardball, trying to get up their money so they can get some more money on the from the feds for recovery. I think that's the game going on in some of these states where they're trying to hold out, just create more destruction and more need so they can get more billions from us taxpayers. So, which I don't agree with. Doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, we're going to have to pay that money. Some of these states have been derelict in their duty concerning finances and how their state budgets are run. And because of that, they're in big financial trouble, a lot to do with their long-term commitments to retirement funds and things like that, pensions and all that. And so they've got themselves in trouble there, as well as their overspending, higher taxation rates, mass move out of constituents and businesses, especially in California and New York. All these high tax states, obviously, they're in the worst COVID trouble for some weird reason. All have a common theme. They all have extremely high tax rates. They all have had a net loss of people, industry, and businesses, which means their tax revenue is going down. And they have these long-term obligations that they have out there they have to meet. And because of that, they have tax revenues going down. They have mass exodus of both people and businesses, as well as these long-term obligations coming due. So you can imagine, like any of us, if we ran up our credit card debt and we weren't paying it, or our income started to drop and our credit card debt was becoming due, we had to start getting it paid back. You can see that's the financial situation they're in. So coincidence? I don't know. Happenstance, just more of the same as far as they don't know what they're doing, and this is why they have higher COVID deaths. I don't know. Definitely seems a little suspicious that some of these states that have these other financial issues also have the highest COVID issues, which means they're going to try to get the most federal money. I mean, if you can want to connect the dots there, I guess you can. I would assume there's definitely a causation effect there. I think that their poor monetary habits and budgeting and overtaxation and the mass exodus of their people and businesses are certainly contributing to their financial difficulties. And then here we come with this COVID situation, and then we know there's going to be tremendous financial incentive. Immediately, the government, the federal government Trump came out and said, anybody's going to have a problem from this shutdown, we're going to give you tons of money. And the word trillions, the number trillions just started getting thrown around. So I think a light bulb went off in a lot of these states that are having these higher COVID deaths where they said this might be our chance to cash out and save ourselves. So, Mr. Johnson died in a car accident, swab him for coronavirus, see if he has it. If he does, throw him on the coronavirus list. So I think there's a lot of that going on in New York, New Jersey, where people are dying with COVID, not from COVID. There's a big difference. As we know, we've done the numbers over and over on this podcast. Roughly, in my best estimation, looking at extrapolating the data across all of the states, we have a 14% infection rate for all tests. Right now, we're up to, I think, almost 14 million tests nationwide. So we're up to a good cross-section of testing. There's no doubt about it. So we can take that 14% that's coming back off that 14 million tests and we can extrapolate that over the population. And again, we come out right there at about that 50 million range, probably up to 60 million at this point. So, a good chunk of the country has had this. A fifth of everybody has had it. So anybody that dies, if you swabbed them or if you took their blood, if you looked for antibodies, a fifth of all people that no matter what they die of are going to be dying with either past COVID or current COVID. So very easy to manipulate numbers if you know those are the statistics. And we have some place like New York, New Jersey. They have much higher infection rates than just the 14%. Matter of fact, New York's numbers, if you want to look it up, are coming back at about 30%, 35% for the tests given, how many people are coming back positive. So if you extrapolate that over their entire population, it comes out at about a quarter to almost a third of their entire population has the COVID virus, some form or another, past or present. So New York State, for instance, is 20 million people. So if we talk about a third of their people have had it or have it, then you're talking about 6.5 million people, almost 7 million people in New York. So anybody that dies, there's a 33% chance they had it or have it. That can easily inflate the numbers. It would also be a good explanation for why the death rates are so much higher in New York. That coupled with the fact that we know that, the good governor of Cuomo sent a whole bunch of COVID-infected elderly patients back into nursing homes to infect the rest. So you send the problem right into the very heart of where it would cause the most damage. And hopefully he gets held accountable for that, because that was definitely, again, I don't know how stupid you could be to do that. Clearly, any virus, I don't care what it is, the flu, SARS, Ebola, I don't care what the virus would be, the cold virus, any virus is going to be more deadly for elderly, sick people. I mean, that's just common sense. I don't think we need a degree in virology to be able to know that older, sicker people are going to have a tougher time with a virus. The vast majority of people, they die from sepsis, which is an infection, get a cut and die. They're older, elderly people with crushed immune systems. And a lot of these immune systems are crushed not only because they're old and elderly, because they're on immunosuppressive drugs, which is something else needs to be looked into on this as well. And I don't think it has. We haven't even been hearing anything about that on the news. What role is immunosuppressive drugs playing in the overall infection rates and obviously the death rates? There's a lot of drugs that suppress your immune system. If you've ever paid attention to any of these commercials that were on TV with these different drugs, almost all of them that I've seen, especially lately, say, hey, don't take this if you have an infection or if you have a cold or the flu, because it's going to crush your immune system, and you could die from a cold that you have. So we've seen many of these drugs, recent drugs especially, they lower your immune system. So you take someone who's a little older, already has a decreased immune ability, and you put them on an immunosuppressant drug. Well, then now what you got? You've got the perfect time bomb for the coronavirus to come in and wipe people out. That needs to be looked at, because I think if we do actually ever look at that data, and hopefully somebody in the CDC cares enough to do that, if they did that, I bet you we'd find the vast majority of people that died of the coronavirus were all three: elderly, immunocompromised because of their age or other underlying medical conditions, and I bet you to a vast majority of them were on some kind of drug that also suppressed their immune system. Healthy people are not dying from the coronavirus. It's preposterous. We know it's not happening, no matter what story comes out. There could be some younger people dying with the COVID virus, not from the COVID virus, unless they have, again, advanced leukemia or some other cancer or underlying medical condition that literally has rendered them without an immune system. It does happen. I mean, genetically, some people don't have an immune system. So there's always anomalies to the situation. But again, if we're looking at a cross-sectional study, we're going to find that the vast majority of people that died from COVID were all three: elderly, had severe underlying medical conditions, and that third kicker, probably were on some kind of immunosuppressive drug. And I hope we do that. I hope we go and dig for that, because it'd be great if we find that to be true, because then obviously we're going to be able to calm the fears. Now, unfortunately, half people don't want you to stop being afraid of COVID. Half of them are loving the fact that you're afraid of COVID. Half of them are loving the fact that it's destroying the economy because they don't like the United States is built. They are wanting change, and again, if it's not broke, you can't fix it. Well, that's what they're trying to do. If you can break it, then there's a reason to fix it. So there's headwinds when it comes to this recovery. So let's transition in from our weekly COVID update to what this is going to mean for you and your business and you and your career and your job as these states all lift restrictions, and we have a good majority of the states opening up, most fully. I think 46 out of the 50 have opened fully, meaning that every type of business is open on some level, maybe not max capacity, but they're all open: bars, restaurants, gyms. I was actually able to go to the gym here the last couple of days. Thank goodness my gym opened up this week, so that's been a great stress reliever. And everybody else, again, is kind of on that same scenario. So now that businesses are opening up, we move into the next phase, which is saving your business, saving your career, saving your job, saving your income, so that as we come through this, we can have that V-shaped curve that everyone's been talking about or hoping for, right? Economy got crashed, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but if we reopen back up and we just resume where we left off, obviously it'll be a rocket ship right back up to where we were, maybe even a little past it because of all the pent-up buying. We know in a lot of situations where restaurants and bars and stores have been opening up, they have waiting lines outside. So we know there's a lot of pent-up buying out there, which is going to be great if we handle it right. So if you handle your business right, which is what we're going to talk about next, then you'll be able to get your particular business, your particular career, your particular job will be able to have that V-shaped recovery and not either the little bump up and then down, a little bump up and then down, the W-shaped recovery that some are saying will be more than likely. Doesn't matter what the overall economy does. You are still in control of what you can control, which is you and your business and your job and your career. You're in control of that, not the government, not some political party. You're in control of it. So keep in mind with all this mess that's going on, the one thing that you want to control is the thing that you can control, which is you and what you do. You can't control politicians. You can't control idiots on Facebook. You can't control what your neighbor's doing. You can't control what the business down the street is doing. What you can control is what you're doing. So that's what we're going to focus on. How to get you to have the V-shaped recovery so you avoid the W. Okay, so V-shaped recovery, here's what's going to entail. The biggest part of this is going to be marketing. How do you market your business? How do you go about reestablishing your presence in the marketplace so that you can reap the benefits of some of this pent-up buying, or buyers with this pent-up money and will to buy because they've been hiding out in their houses? How do you get your slice of that so that you'll have that V-shaped recovery? Well, the first thing you're going to have to do, we're going to have to do some increased marketing, okay? And still, one of the challenges that I have as I coach small businesses is they struggle with their social media marketing. I mean, it's a constant struggle. They just, for some reason, can't get it, won't get it, don't want to get it, think it's complicated. I don't know. But that becomes the bottleneck for a lot of small businesses is there a lack of ability to market. Let's talk about marketing and how you can do it on social media for any small business, no matter what niche you're in, no matter what industry you're in, no matter where you're located. Social media is the best marketing tool for any business in the last 2 years and forever on. Okay, 2017 and before that, maybe some advertising still worked on TV, radio, newspapers. I mean, there's still some I guess ability to defend mailers. Some mailers have pretty good rates, especially when it comes to like home improvement, things around the house. When you mail something to someone's house, basically you're hitting them up at their house about their house. Now, those mailers have an effect. But if you're running a shoe store and you send a mailer to someone's house, don't expect much bang for your buck. If you have a restaurant, it's iffy. Maybe if it's in the neighborhood. But if you're mailing across town, it's not going to give you much impact. So talking about the most impact for your money, we got to go to social media. Now, I don't care what business you have, social media is still going to be the best bang for your buck, period, because it's cheap, it's easy once you get the hang of it, and you can get market penetration of your exact customer base, your exact target market, easier than any other form of advertising. So how do you do it? Well, let's talk about how I do it, for instance. I've got them on the big screen, my Instagram page, Cory Jean Success. As you can see, hopefully you can see on the camera there, I've got 412,000 followers. I've got my accreditation there, CEO of LMJ and CJS, National Renowned Business Consultant, International Best-Selling Author, featured on Forbes, ABC, and Fox, #1 new book, a link to it. Obviously, that could say anything. Now, one of the things that you want to pay attention to on all your social media is the feel of it. How's it look, right? So if we're going to look at mine, and I'm not certainly going to say mine's the greatest of all time. It isn't, but it's adequate for what I do. If I was selling makeup or something like that, it'd probably be a little fancier and snazzier. But for a business to business company that I have, and my companies are business to business, this is a solid business to business platform. If I was trying to sell a bunch of, again, jewelry to 17-year-olds or something like that, then it would look a little different than this. But this is a solid business-to-business look and feel. So you've got my picture at the top, right? It's got to be personal. Remember, whenever you're doing your marketing, when it comes to successful social media, media marketing, it's got to be personal, okay? It can't be just your company logo. If I had just my company logo up there, I would not have 412,000 followers. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's got to be personal. You have got to make it a personal brand. So if you have a restaurant, if you have a shoe store, if you have a construction business, if you have a restaurant, I think I said restaurant twice. I focus on restaurants because I'm hungry. You need to make it personal. It needs to be a personal brand, okay? So not to mean that you don't, just throw away your company, but it's got to be you as your brand, you as the business. So it's got to be Cory Jean as Cory Jean Success, right? It's got to be, and if your name's in the business, so be it. If it's not, it's not. Then it's going to be Cory Jean for Cory Means Business. Let's say my business was called Cory Means Business. It would be Cory Jean, and then it would be CEO of Cory Means Business. So that's how you'd want to do it. You would not want to put your company logo up there and then just have all company stuff and no personality. Without personality, social media falls flat. I mean, proof's in the pudding. Look at every large social media account. Who is it? It's a person, not a brand. And, again, you're not Walt Disney. I'm not, I'm not going to be able to survive off a Disney brand. I'm not a household name. You're probably not a household name either. So for us brands that are not household names, we cannot survive off of some type of a sterile brand or a company brand. You have got to be personal with it. So it's got to be you, Timothy Johnson of, let's think of a good name, AAA Construction. So it's Tim Johnson, CEO of AAA Construction. But Tim Johnson needs to have the account, not AAA Construction, okay? Tim Johnson can be the CEO of AAA Construction, but he would not want to have a page for AAA Construction. Now, I know you'll probably hear some different opinions about that, but trust me, I've studied this a lot, and I have looked at all the successful pages. You will be hard-pressed, unless it's some kind of a household brand for some other reason that has nothing to do with social media, you're going to be hard-pressed to find some blowing up, highly engaged brand page. Even if you go to Disney or if you go to, some other huge brand, Home Depot, these household names, they don't have much engagement on their social media. Why? It's not personal. So let's take a look at it. You don't believe me? Let's go to Home Depot. Home Depot. Yeah, there it is. They got the blue check. I'm working on my blue check. Hopefully I'm supposed to get it pretty soon. So Home Depot, this is a household name, okay? 1 million followers. So they got, about twice as many followers as this weird guy named Cory, right? And I'm no household name. This is a household name, 1 million followers. Let's look at their engagement. Now they got 1,835 posts. What did I have, 160 posts? I can go back and take a look at it. I think I had 160 posts. That was it. So they've got 1,835 posts and 1 million followers. So this is an example of why brand on social media does not work. Here's a household name. Now, if we look at their posts, look at this. Their last post that was posted an hour ago has 519 likes. Let's go back to something that they posted, maybe, let's say a week ago. Here we go. Here's a week ago's post, 6 days ago. 1,443 likes. Okay. This is Home Depot. This is a big brand. This is a national company, international company. This is a huge brand. They got 1,400 likes. So again, I didn't even look at this before I shot this video, so you know. I just know this is how it works. There's no big brands that are going to have high engagement on their social media pages. It's boring. Who the hell is going to follow this page? Who's going to interact with this picture of a house? It just isn't going to happen. I'm surprised they get that much engagement, honestly. But hey, you know, if you got 1 million followers in a worldwide brand name, I guess you can. So we go back and we look at mine. Let's compare household brand to some guy that most of you don't even know who the hell I am. 412,000 followers, only 186 posts, and let's look at some of my engagement. This one that I posted about my dogs being at the lake this weekend, I got, 2 days ago? No, yeah, 2 days ago, 3,253 likes. So I'm already killing Home Depot. If we go back and look at this video I shot last week, 14,000 views. This one, 2540, a little low. I guess my Ram truck isn't all that interesting. This one, 3,000 likes. This video, 6,000 views. My book, 2,100. So you can see I'm trouncing Home Depot. I'm just some guy, okay? So this proves that personality is what matters, not brand. And so when you do your social media for your business, you have to do it for you as your business. You can be like I am, the CEO of this and that, but you don't want it to be, I wouldn't have a page for Cory Jean Success, the page. It would be stupid. I'd be at 1,800 posts and hardly any engagement, and nobody even gives a crap. So you don't want to do that. So trust me, those of you, and again, I know there's many that I've actually talked to and messaged and coached. You have two pages. You have your personal and you have your business. Stop it. Stop with the personal and the business. Look, this is social media. You don't need to be sticking certain things in the pictures and everything anyway. So stop it. Don't be putting your lifestyle that maybe a lot of people wouldn't approve of on social media. And if that's who you are, then hey, I can't help you. We don't see eye to eye. For the rest of you that are confused about it, even your personal Facebook has to have a semblance of respectability, right? You have relatives looking at it. So you're not doing anything insane even on your personal Facebook page. So when you look at your Instagram, when you look at your business Facebook page, now you should have a business Facebook page. Don't get me wrong. You should have a business Facebook page in addition to your personal page, only because Facebook won't let you advertise off of your personal page. And Facebook won't let you grow your audience on your personal page beyond 5,000 friends. So you're limited on a personal Facebook page, and of course that's by design. So what should you do for your business Facebook page? Well, you should go ahead and do the same thing. Make it personal, and then just be the CEO of your business, but make your Facebook business page also personal. Your personal picture, your image, all that stuff. And as you post, things have got to be relevant. They got to be relevant to your audience. So let's look at mine. What's my audience? Small businesses. I coach small businesses in financial distress, and I coach high-income individuals on how to take their careers to the next level. So if you look at my Instagram page, I've got some personal stuff in there because again, it can't be all just business. People, want to interact. I've got to be a real person, right? I can't be some stiff, guy that just sits behind a desk and preaches at you like stuff to do. I want to have a good relationship with you. So you want to have a relationship with your audience. You just don't want to, again, be this bland person offering this business thing. You want to have a personality involved. So you're going to have to share some of your personal life. Doesn't mean that, you're going to share everything. Doesn't mean you're going to do crazy things and show everything you do in your personal life on your Instagram. Don't do it. Understand your audience, understand the credibility you want to maintain, and only share things that will not hinder your credibility for your business or for your professional life. I would never put anything on my Instagram or in my stories that would make people look upon me negatively. Now, it might be some crazy stuff, some funny stuff. When I say crazy, mildly crazy, nothing that, again, it's going to jeopardize my credibility or standing, or at least I hope not, with my target audience. So you'll see my postings are a combination of a few personal things, as well as some educational videos, the book, some seminar stuff that I've done, some messaging on, some motivational stuff, things like this, learn how to play the game. So most of it, I'd say about 75% of it is straight educational. Maybe 25% of it is something personal. And I still try to have some kind of an educational message. Even when I post something personal, I still want to have an educational message or a message that's relevant to my audience. So you can have want to have some personality in it, but you just still want to make the message kind of relevant to who you are and what your core values are. So when I do post something that isn't necessarily about business, and I post something more personal, I'm still wanting you to see the part of me that you'd be doing business with, meaning my morality, my ethics, my desire to help others, my generosity, all the things that you'd be hiring me for, all the things we'd be doing business together that you'd be hoping to get from me. I want to showcase that as well on my social media. So in addition to the advice, in addition to the lessons and things like that, when I do show more personal things, the underlying tone you still want to have there is going to be your core values and what your client or customer or audience would also get from you as a person in addition to whatever good or service you're offering. Now, this is key if you want to have a strong presence on social media. You really have got to nail that down. Showcase your core values to your target audience so they know that if they're buying my book, for instance, so if you're buying my book, Maximize Your Now, bestseller in 4 countries, by the way, plug. There'll be a link to it in the description. I'm also on another video going to talk more about the core values you're going to get from me when we do business. So if you buy my book, if you hire me to train your company, or if you hire me to coach your company, you're still going to get Cory, who has a high level of desire to help and puts helping people and results above making money. Now, you're not going to find that with everybody, and we all know that. So if you do have those core values, you want to showcase that. You want to showcase the fact that you're willing to go above and beyond for your customers and your clients, so that, again, when they understand they're buying a good or a service from you, whatever kind of business you have, they know they also are buying some core values. Now, when you have core values on display, you're going to be much more magnetic for your target audience. People are going to trust you much more. And I can tell you, having coached small businesses for over 2 decades, there is nothing that's more valuable that you can put out there in the marketplace than trust. Okay, you can have a product or a service that isn't the best in the world if you are a highly trusted person and have a highly trusted company. Then you can get away with maybe not having this highest quality because the trust can make up for that. If you do have a high quality product, or good or service, which I hope we're all striving to get, then the trust makes it that much more valuable. So as you set your price points, don't ever underestimate how valuable trust is and confidence is in you as part of your business and part of what you're selling. It is huge. You can charge a lot more, and people will value a lot more if they know you can trust you, because they know your core values are in line with what they're looking for. So remember, when you do post personal things on your pages, make your core values stand out, okay? Don't fake it, but just showcase it. Never fake anything. Be genuine. Be authentic. Today I got a pretty big compliment from someone who bought my book. And they said, this is the no bullshit business coach. And that, I smiled because I was like, you're right. That's what I want to be. I'm glad that's coming through. I want to be the no bullshit business coach. Okay. Because I don't want to be some slick talking, using words that you have to look up in a dictionary, trying to make myself sound more important. So you'll think my advice is worth more. I want to be the no bullshit, straight to the point coach for you guys, because that's what is real, okay? If you've ever talked to anybody that knows what the hell they're doing, it isn't all fancy and complicated. It's normally pretty damn straightforward. There's a few fundamental things that just get put down solidly every single day, and that is the people that you want to be listening to. people start talking too fancy and over your head, and they got all these terms and things like that that you don't know what it even means, run for the hills, trust me, especially when it comes to business. So that's how your page should flow. That's how it should look. It should be personally branded, and a combination, a mix between 75% business stuff, 75% giving good advice to your audience, and 25% of personal stuff is fine. Presenting your core values and showcasing who you are as a person so they know that they're buying the person as well as buying the product or the service. Very, very important, especially when it comes to branding you and your business. Keep your stuff clean. Obviously, you want to use high-res photos. You want to have a mix of videos. Videos do very well on social media. People love videos way more than they love pictures. Not that pictures aren't a good, doesn't have some place, but really people love video. Another thing that performs really well, especially on Instagram, is the carousel, which the carousel is basically you have multiple pictures and or a combination of pictures and video like I do on this one. And because of that, you'll get higher engagement because they're going to serve it up more. Video gets served up more than anything else, especially if it gets a lot of hits early on, a lot of engagement early on. So that's the type of content you should have. Also, a little bit more on content, you also want to be educating your audience. So if you have, let's say that, the example I used to use a lot as a roofing company, well, videos that you need to have on your social media is you have to be coaching your roofing, okay? Why are you an expert in this space? Why are you an expert at roofing? Why should I hire your roofing company? Show me, Tim Johnson, that you are an expert at roofing on your social media page so that as I consider to hire you for roofing, I can watch 2 or 3 of your videos where you're teaching me about roofing and what the problems could be, what the solutions are, what different materials and products that you could use as part of roofing. If you show me that you know what you're talking about, if you demonstrate and give me great advice for free on your social media, and then you combine that with personal branding to go right along with great, solid, good-looking content, a nice feel to your page, bam, now you're going to get that social proof you're looking for that's going to allow you to be able to get to your target audience with your message, and obviously with your sales pitch, which is to sell your good or service. Obviously, just throwing stuff out there and never asking anybody to do a call to action isn't going to be good for you. A lot of my, and again, you don't want to sit there and make the whole thing a commercial when you're trying to educate somebody. I'm not trying to make this video commercial. As you can tell, I've talked about a lot of stuff here that I hope is very valuable for you. I'm not making it a commercial every 3 seconds saying, hire me, hire me, hire me. But of course, I'm at some point in this video or in the description of it or in any of my social media stuff, I'm going to put a call to action that you should hire me, or you should buy my book, or you should subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you should subscribe to my podcast, or you should, follow me on Instagram. Okay, of course you still need to have some call of actions. Just don't make them just over the top to where they become annoying. That's just, you're trying to just get somebody a little bit of info and then get them to do something. Instead, give them a lot of info, a lot of education, and ask them to do a little something, right? Like I'm going to ask you to do right now. If you love this video, subscribe, share it. Definitely, please like it. Put some comments. I'd love to hear some more feedback. For some reason, I don't get a ton of comments on my YouTube videos, and I'm hoping to change them because I'm not asking for it, and that's my fault. Please comment on the video if you see it. I'd like your feedback on what you think of all this. If you have any questions, put them on there. Happy to answer questions. I can't cover every single thing in these videos or this podcast, so if you do have questions about anything, whether it's the coronavirus or whether it's something about business or even not even relevant to the video, go ahead and ask the question. I'll answer it for you right then and there. We can keep sharing this knowledge. So that's going to be it for today. This week, what I want you guys to do is I want you to fix your social media pages, do everything we talked about today, do the personal branding, clean it up, make it appropriate for your audience. And again, personal brand first, your business second. Put a personal picture up there. I don't care how, unpresentable you are. A personality still is better than some company logo. You're not Home Depot, and even if you are, you see how bad that goes for Home Depot. Don't do it. Put your picture. get your person involved, shoot videos. And if you're not good at shooting videos, you got to get good at it. And I wasn't good at it when I first started shooting videos. I'm still not the best at it. I'm okay now. At least the ums and the uhs are out of my speech, but I'm still learning and I'm still getting better at it. And every day I wake up, I'm getting better at everything I do. And you should too. So let's get your social media pages where they need to be. Get the look, the feel, get to posting the right way, get to educating, shoot some videos this week. Next week, we're going to dive deeper into marketing. We'll do a coronavirus update because that's going to be with us for a long time and affecting our businesses and our jobs. Next week, once we got this all cleaned up, the next week's episode is going to be about how do you now get these followers? How do you get followers? How do you get engagement? How do you get potential customers to interact with your social media page? And how do you pitch them? Okay, because obviously we want to turn them into customers. I want to turn every single one of you into a customer eventually. I either want to sell you my book, I want to sell you one of my programs, I want to sell you some personal coaching. And hopefully if I deliver enough value and I make as much sense to you on these podcasts and on these YouTube shows and on my social media, that you will want to hire me. It isn't going to be a forced relationship. I want you to want to hire me. So with that, I'll sign off for this week. Thank you so much for joining me, and hope you guys have an awesome week, and I'll see you on the next one.